Hi, this is Alan Burdick at the Magic Showplace Theater and Rabbit and Hat Magic Shop in beautiful Locust Grove, Oklahoma. The magic is waiting for you here on Discover Oklahoma.
Coming up on Discover Oklahoma, we're on a Guthrie getaway, sampling all its inns and B&Bs, getting pumped on Joe and chocolate, and a little scared by history, plus street eats, a tiny town's magical surprise, and a little shop of icons in T-Town. Come with us to Discover Oklahoma.
Welcome to historic downtown Guthrie. I'm Lauren Nelson.
And I'm Dean O'Lally. You know, this is a place with lots of monikers like Oklahoma's Victorian City.
Nowhere in our state and very few places around the world has Victorian architecture and history been better preserved than right here in Guthrie.
And that includes the spot where we are today, which is the Oklahoma Frontier Drugstore Museum.
The Oklahoma Frontier Drugstore Museum is a step back in time and a look at some of the curious cures of yesteryear.
We have so many things here that 100 years ago you could have gone in the drugstore and just bought it. Like there's marijuana containers up there, there's laudanum containers up there, different things.
Nancy Dye is a retired nurse and volunteers her time telling folks all the interesting details of this trove of treatments.
This was a good place to volunteer because I do know about some of the medicines that we gave back in the 50s and some we gave back then that we don't give anymore. I found out there was a little brown bottle that had ridges on the side, and a pharmacist told me that was because at that time, anything that was poison had to have ridges on the sides.
Along with medicines, they have antique medical equipment.
There's two little boxes that have a light in it that's supposed to be X-ray.
For many visitors, it's more than history. It's personal memories they get to revisit.
We've got all these old drugs that people will say, oh, I remember my granddad taking those, or I remember that my mother used to put that on me. We have a soda fountain that doesn't work. It was moved in here, but people have memories of getting ice cream at a soda fountain and having sodas. We have the old original Coca-Cola bottles that are squeezed in the center, and that was, they put the cocaine in the bottom, the Coca-Cola syrup, and the carbonated water. The gas held the marble up at the top and they had to hit it and it made a popping sound, and that's why sodas were originally called pop.
A little later, we'll take a look at some of the miracle cures touted at the turn of the 20th century. But first, Jeff Roberts and videographer Brian Boone introduce us to a street chef whose food truck is curing hunger one bite of fried chicken at a time.
Guys, I am so excited. Today we get to start our food trucking across this big old state with Chef Ray's food truck. Let's go find out what's going on.
Welcome to Chef Ray's Street Eats. This local food truck serves delicious chef-inspired chicken dishes with a modern twist on the classic American favorite. But why would this former executive chef not just open a brick and mortar establishment? Chef Ray?
Brick and mortar requires a great deal of upstart capital, and I had a choice. It was either do a brick and mortar or open a food truck, and the food truck provided more flexibility at this point in my life. It gave me an opportunity for us to do as we wanted and to go on a few more vacations. And that was that, and we've been in business for 7 years, and we've been very fortunate. We've been successful since day one.
And successful he is. Just look at that line. These peeps have a conviction for Chef Ray's chicken. But for first-timers like us and Rachel James, how's it taste?
It was really good. There's a nice heat to it, and I like the peppers that they put on top with a little bit of onions. Oh, it's delicious.
So if the folks are watching going, maybe should I try it, you would say?
Absolutely. Ty, love it.
Oh, I see what you did there. Ty Love You is just one of your choices. How about we jump in the truck and make these for you? Let's go. Come on, admit it. You're now on a mission to get your hands on Chef Ray's chicken. But be warned, since life is uncertain, Chef Ray lets you eat dessert first.
All right, to borrow a line from Guy Fieri, if you've been stricken with chicken, sorry, I couldn't help myself, you gotta track down Chef Ray's food truck. Look, right here, all over the socials, that's where you can find him. Instagram is the best place, and Brian and I have had enough. We've shot all day and haven't gotten to eat yet, so you know I like to eat on camera. Pretty messy too. So look, check it out, Chef Ray's food truck, and tell him you saw it right here on Discover Oklahoma. Brian, let's go eat.
Chef Ray's Street Eats food truck can be found at various locations around the OKC Metro, and you can track him down at travelok.com/chefrays.
Looking at all this scary old stuff from turn-of-the-century dentist office here in the museum makes me really so very glad I live in the 21st century.
If I'd have lived back then, I'd be trying to make a run for it. Good thing Guthrie has everything you'd need for a complete escape.
And another nickname they enjoy from that is the bed and breakfast capital of Oklahoma.
Our Shel Wagner rounded up some of her favorite Guthrie lodging options because, you know, once you're here, you're going to want to stay.
In Oklahoma, the city of Guthrie is synonymous with luxury lodging. So come along with me for just a small sampling of the diverse digs. Well known to B&B enthusiasts, Guthrie's historic Stone Lion Inn bed and breakfast resides in a stately Victorian mansion, built the same year as statehood and restored to luxurious grandeur. Stone Lion boasts 6 guest rooms, each beautifully decorated in a different theme and each with a private bath. And speaking of private, budding private eyes will adore this hideaway for the engaging murder mystery weekends. Or just up the hill, you can revel in the old world architecture of Dominion House Boutique Hotel. Built as the Masonic Children's Home in 1923, this intimate hotel showcases ornate amenities that represent the pinnacle of rest and relaxation. All rooms feature magnificent chandeliers and plush linens. Wake up to breakfast prepared by in-house chefs, and then pamper yourself with extravagant on-site spa services. If you are craving the quiet of the countryside without giving up any of the luxuries, Arcadian Getaway Guest Cottages might just be exactly what you need. With 3 uniquely appointed and themed cottages created exclusively for couples, this romantic destination features king-sized canopy beds, gas fireplaces, luxury linens, and fully equipped kitchens. For a more urban vibe, dwell for a time in this historic loft space, voted Oklahoma's most unique bed and breakfast. In the heart of Guthrie's Arts and Entertainment District, 3 separate spaces, Utopia Joe, Vinyl Loft, and Atomic Loft, feature glorious views from large windows and bright, airy spaces, along with comfortable furnishings, oversized original fine art, sculpture, and handmade furniture by Guthrie-based artists Utopia Joe and the Tipsy Artist. In Guthrie for Discover Oklahoma, I'm Shel Wagner.
Of course, there are many more accommodations here in Guthrie than we could possibly squeeze into one story. You can find the whole gamut of Guthrie lodging possibilities at travelok.com/Guthrie Stays.
There's a lot more Guthrie to love.
And we have several more stops to make.
Plus, we'll pull a rabbit out of a hat in northeastern Oklahoma at an old school magic shop you really gotta see.
And later on, we'll do our part to make chocolate disappear when Discover Oklahoma returns in just 2 minutes.
In a time of unrivaled optimism and untold opportunity, where oil turned nobodies into noblemen, E.W. Marlin built the Marlin Mansion Estate. Inspired by multiple cultures, the mansion merges tributes to the past with the innovations of its time. Shadowed by love and loss, riches and risk, sorrow and scandal, Marlin's legacy lives on through this unforgettable icon. Come enjoy the splendor of Oklahoma's largest historic home, located in Ponca City.
Growing up in such a rich religious home and environment, do you find a lot of spirituality making its way into your lyrics?
Wanna be faithful. I haven't carried everything with me from my childhood, but I think that I deal with life in a spiritual way, in a way of thinking that there's so much more than me, you know? And so I kind of live by that more so than anything. Wanna be angry, yeah. Wanna be when I wanna be faithful.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma. You know, they say that a Guthrie getaway is good medicine, and that's literally what's growing behind us.
Medicinal plants at the Apothecary Garden here at the Oklahoma Frontier Drugstore Museum. There are all kinds of lotions and potions inside the Frontier Drugstore Museum. We're going to tell you about one of the vintage cures coming up. But first, a trip to Locust Grove.
That's where our Erin Christie and photographer Chris Cook were surprised to find a magic venue that took more than a wave of the wand to get off the ground.
There are only a couple of stoplights in Locust Grove, but look at what kind of sorcery has popped up on Main Street.
Erin, do your thing. Oh, she's really getting good at that.
This is the Magic Showplace Theater and Rabbit and Hat Magic Shop.
I think we've got a really neat attraction that's going to be pretty cool for people in Oklahoma.
Owner Clark May's grandfather cast the magic spell on him as a child.
One time we were going through a shed and I found his old trunk of tricks and stuff, and I thought, oh, that'd be fun to get that going again.
After retiring from the aviation industry in Tulsa, he gutted the space for an opulent old-time look. Clark had no ties to Locust Grove, so perhaps the biggest mystery isn't the magic. But why here?
Why not? Hudson Lake is just 5 miles away. NSU Telequah's down the road. And in Pryor, Google has moved in. So actually, with the way things are going up, I kind of think we're strategically located.
The shop gets plenty of passerby traffic.
We have actual tricks, books, DVDs, and magic sets.
One theater performer, Alan Burdick, combines crafted storytelling with locally themed illusion.
Now, who can tell me what happens to the wind when we have cool, thin air clash with warm, moist air over the plains of Oklahoma?
Tornadoes.
Tornadoes, that's right.
The whole town has been behind it. Students from Locust Grove High School designed trim work and installation. One resident came in and offered free help.
And he just volunteered lumber and building materials, and he put the marble floors in the theater, the marble floor in the bathroom. I mean, he's awesome.
And Clark will help guide shoppers.
Oh, that one. Open your left hand. We're going to place the ball into her hand. She's going to keep her fist closed tightly. Meanwhile, I'm going to take a ball, place in my hand. Erin, with your fist closed, place your hand on the counter right there. Now, don't move your hand because you may feel something.
Okay.
Watch what happens when we use a little magic. Here we go. 1, 2. Did you feel that? Slowly turn your hand over and open it.
Yeah. I don't know how this stuff works.
Well,
I wish I did. He'll tell you how it works with a catch. He's not going to watch his money disappear. Clark says the secret is told when the trick is sold. In Locust Grove at Magic Theater Showplace and Rabbit and Hat Magic Shop, I'm Erin Christie for Discover Oklahoma. Wow.
The Magic Showplace Theater and Rabbit and Hat Magic Shop are open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We'll have a link to their website on travelok.com/Magic Showplace so that you can plan your visit.
That destination, along with the Rural Oklahoma Museum of Poetry that we featured a few weeks ago, make Locust Grove a fun little getaway. What you looking at, Dino?
Well, have you ever heard the expression selling snake oil?
Yes.
This is where it started. There was something actually called snake oil.
So the bottle claims it's good for everything from lame back to reptile bites, bruises, and a sore throat. It would even grow your hair back.
But it actually did nothing. That's the expression for selling something that's absolutely worthless. But this is just one of the many fun things you can find here at the museum.
But something that has historically worked as medicine, and I completely agree that it does, chocolate.
Bedray Fine Chocolate is fine chocolate. We just love what we do here, and we make a really excellent high-end gourmet chocolate. We do a lot of handcrafting. We have full automation, but we also do handcrafted products. So we have that uniqueness to it. We put together our own combination of recipes for our centers. So we use the, not flavorings for our fruit centers, like strawberry and orange and raspberry, but it actually comes from a fruit. And so we have other mixes that we put together, and that's, I think, what makes it really special.
Here at the retail store, you can find the best assortment of the handcrafted chocolate, along with some products you won't find anywhere else.
Mainly in the retail store, you really get to see the whole full array of all the gift baskets that we have. And then we have a lot of gift packaging, like if you want to buy the chocolate bars in all flavors, there's several combinations of gifting that you can do that in. We also have in the chocolate case, we make a lot of things that we just don't package and retail that you would find in a retail store, but you'd be able to get it here.
While you're here, watch the sweet treats being made from the viewing window.
We have a huge glass wall, that we call it, that you can watch production.
Being in the production room reminds me of the I Love Lucy episode where Lucy and Ethel are working at the chocolate factory stealing candy straight off the conveyor belt. We promise we didn't snag any samples from here, but how could you resist when you step into the retail store? There's something for everyone. Fruit-filled, chocolate-covered nuts, milk, dark or white chocolate, they have it all.
We put things in it with nuts and crunchy stuff and pecans and coconut, and I don't know, we make a lot of great stuff. Bedre has been making the chocolate-covered crisp for more than 30 years. So I would say that, we have perfected the art of the chocolate-covered potato crisp. People can come in, buy gift baskets and chocolates, just out of the case. There's plenty to see and taste and enjoy.
Okay, that last story gave me some serious cravings. We gotta find some chocolate around here.
Well, I think I need to come up with a really good chocolate joke.
But if it's not any good, I'll just snicker.
My
Gotcha.
gosh, I think it's my turn to say it's time to move on.
Maybe so.
You can see our complete story about the Oklahoma Frontier Drugstore Museum on the Discover Oklahoma YouTube page. Just search Frontier Drugstore.
Just ahead, a place just baked, a deli with freshly baked bread and scrumptious desserts.
It's springtime in Claremore, right in the heart of Route 66. Stroll through the shops and boutiques in the downtown Lilac District. Ride Claremore's bike trails with exciting new expansions and upgrades. And enjoy Claremore's famous flavors with restaurants for every appetite. Come play and stay where springtime fun begins on Route 66 in Claremore.
Don't just wish you were here. Visit Claremore with me.
Visit Durant, Oklahoma, where the people are just as special as our town. From our bustling main street full of boutiques, stores, and recreational shops everyone can enjoy, to our wide variety of family-friendly and fine dining options. You can enjoy cultural experiences at the newly opened Choctaw Cultural Center, or tons of water recreation activities on Lake Texoma. Durant is a weekend of fun waiting to happen. Plan your next adventure at discoverdurant.com.
Oklahoma Today's March-April issue is dedicated to all things outdoors. Take a tour of the gorgeous new lodges at Robbers Cave and Beavers Bend State Parks, and everything you need to know to level up your running game. We've got tips on how to be a good outdoor traveler, whether hunting, hiking, or camping, plus guides to some of the animals and plants you'll meet along the way. Subscribe today for only $14.95. Oklahoma Today magazine. Break through the ordinary.
Welcome back. Great news. We have found a chocolate paradise right here in downtown Guthrie. Yes, and the specialty coffees, comfy couches, and AC are a bonus. This is Rick's Fine Chocolates and Coffee, and even if they didn't have fabulous coffee and decadent sweets, the casual, welcoming vibe would still draw you in. While we sit and sip.
Or slurp.
Thank you very much. Deanne Stein has lined up lunch.
She and videographer Tommy Evans were drawn to the fabulous aroma of Just Baked Bakery and Deli in Yukon.
Mixing up a cake batter in the kitchen feels only natural for Debbie Cook and her daughter Caitlin Swafer.
My mom and I, we've been baking forever. It's been our dream to own a bakery and run a bakery together.
After a dry run of baking cakes like these at home, they did it and opened in the summer of 2020 in Yukon.
We get here really early in the morning. I mean, it is all family. So it's me and my mom, my husband, my dad, and my mom's sister. On Saturdays, you'll see my brother here. He helps us run the front. So it's all family.
You'll even see her kids hanging out.
We have some regulars where our toddler, he will go and eat dinner with them or share a piece of cake with them. He just climbs up in their lap and eats their food, but they're fine with this.
But her customers are more than fine with the food, because at Just Baked, you can get more than baked goods.
I come here twice a week in the morning just for their breakfast burritos, which are by far anything better than you can get around here. And I love it because I can eat a big burrito and then I don't have to eat until nighttime.
Caitlin and her mom also serve a variety of sandwiches, all served on fresh homemade bread, salads, and sides, including their creamy mac and cheese with or without chicken.
What's neat is it's kind of all in one package, right? You can come and get a meal and get full, and then feed your dessert stomach right afterwards and get full again on the sweets, as they're so good.
Oh yeah, don't forget the dessert, because those sweet baked goods are what started it all.
This is my favorite cake ever. It is a white cake with raspberry filling, and then it's covered in white chocolate ganache. It is so good. The banana pudding cheesecake is probably my next favorite, and it's like, I can't explain it. It's just so good. It's so silky and smooth, and it's a perfect cheesecake.
I love the carrot cake. I don't eat a lot of sweets, even with my last name, but I love the carrot cake.
I like the cannoli. The cannoli are good.
You can also get cupcakes and oatmeal pies, cakes, pies, you name it, they can make it. But you have to hurry because most days they sell out.
We make all of it from scratch. My mom does like all the breads. We make all of our breads for our sandwiches. She does the pies.
Everything is going really fast.
We alternate on who does cake and cheesecakes and cupcakes. I decorate most of it.
But the secret to their sweet success is the support from the community.
We have a lot of regulars, and they've honestly become like family.
It's neat walking in the door and they already know who we are.
They made us feel really welcome, and we never stopped coming back. And not only do we support the business, they've really become really good friends of ours too.
You can find Just Baked Bakery and Deli on Mustang Road in Yukon and at travelok.com/justbaked. If you'd like to learn more about Rick's Fine Chocolates and Coffee, check out our full story on the Discover Oklahoma YouTube page. Just search Rick's.
Now that we've got you flexing your shopping muscles, it's probably time to send you over to Tulsa.
We're headed to T-Town, to a place that celebrates all things Okie.
Find your craft at one of more than 60 breweries bubbling up fun all across Oklahoma. Tap into our state's many award-winning craft brews, from ales to stouts and everything in between. Take time to savor them in your favorite style. From rural beer gardens to high-tech urban tap rooms, you can find it all on Oklahoma's Craft Beer Trail. Download a map from craftbeerok.com and start your journey down the Oklahoma Craft Beer Trail.
Osage County, a region of intricate cultures and untamed frontiers. Osage County boasts a rich heritage of vibrant history and undaunted resilience. Here, you'll experience the echoes of the Wild West while enjoying the warmth and welcome of Oklahoma hospitality, including homestyle cooking, charming shops, historical museums, and unforgettable entertainment for the whole family. Visit the Osage. Adventure awaits you.
We're excited to introduce our new hotel partner.
Best Western of Oklahoma. With 40 locally owned locations across our state, Best Western is our go-to hotel.
Give them a try the next time you're out discovering Oklahoma.
Go to bestwesternoklahoma.com.
Are you ready for a road trip?
The AAA Route 66 Road Fest, June 23rd, 24th, and 25th at SageNet Center at Expo Square, is the ultimate family road trip through the history of Route 66 under one roof. For tickets and more information, visit Route66roadfest.com.
Welcome back to Guthrie and Rick's Fine Chocolates and Coffee.
And we are enjoying both. They can customize chocolates for you with your name or your logo, and they had these special Oklahoma established 1907 chocolates made. Such a fun gift idea. Our next destination relies on our collective oakiness and our ability to poke fun at ourselves.
This Tulsa General Store keeps humor at the forefront of their business model.
Jason Grubbs and videographer Tommy Evans take us to Ida Red.
The Ida Red General Store experience starts the moment you walk in the door.
And that's a feeling of joy that anyone's welcome and just, you know, an experience of fun.
Angeline Ripley Wright owns the shop. The original Brookside location opened in 2008. It's been filled with Tulsa and Oklahoma products from day one.
I love Oklahoma so much. I really do. And I was raised by Okies, and I couldn't find any cool t-shirts or anything, except for maybe at the airport. And so I just started experimenting with making Oklahoma and Tulsa products and be like, does anybody want this?
As it turns out, absolutely they do. So much so, there's now an Ida Red in downtown and in South Tulsa at 106th and Memorial.
There's something significant about wearing a shirt or putting a sticker on your car or whatever it is that says, this is where I'm from and I'm proud of where I'm from.
I've taken Tulsa hats that say TUL to friends in Chicago and Dallas and Colorado, and they say their families fight over them to see who can wear the TUL, and people are like, what is TUL? And they're like, Tulsa. What do you think it is?
How cool are these puzzles made up of Tulsa icons? Over here, a display table full of jars filled by our neighbors across the state, from salsas to seasonings. Some of those items created just for Ida Red include this snow globe. This is the 4th version that they've created, and this one plays music. The store is filled with unique things to Oklahoma and Tulsa, and just as unique as the store's name, a nod to an old folk song made famous by 2 Oklahoma fellas.
One of the most famous versions is by Bob Wills, the king of Western Swing, who's really a Texan, but we claim him as an Okie. And then another person that has a really famous version of that is Woody Guthrie from Oklahoma.
In Tulsa's Brookside District, I'm Jason Grubbs for Discover Oklahoma.
Here's where you can visit Ida Red General Store in person, but they do a swift business online as well. You can find them at travelok.com/Ida Red.
What a fun day we've had exploring Guthrie today, and we're ending here at Rick's with chocolate, and well, there's nothing better than that.
And we have barely even scratched the surface of all there is to do in this beautiful city. And you can cover more ground in a rental bike or a scooter.
We were going to try our hand at that, but because of the weather, we couldn't. And hey, we're all still in one piece.
The easiest way to plan your trip is online at travelok.com/Guthrie. Thanks so much to the one-of-a-kind destinations who are part of our show this week. So until next time, remember,
there's always something sweet to discover in Oklahoma. I think I'm going to go home with a milk chocolate pecan Wordle and maybe a Snicker bite. What about you?
You see everything in the case. It's mine.